Welcome to Speaking of Horses, and well, we're having a great weekend here.
Sure are.
We are in Camden, South Carolina. If you're not familiar, it's about 25 miles to the east of Columbia, and you're only maybe 80, 90 miles off the coast if that. So we could go back to Columbia or head on to Myrtle Beach. But Camden is a very historic town, and as I'm learning, part of their history is not just Civil War, but Camden was heavily involved in the Revolutionary War, and that's some data that I wasn't really aware of. It's a gorgeous, gorgeous place. If you think of a picturesque, typical South Carolina town, this is it.
This is it.
And we're here for the Camden tour stop for the Equus Film Festival, and we have about 45 films that have won awards in New York at the Equus Film Festival in Manhattan. With me is Doug Maddox. So welcome.
Thank you, sir.
Oh, and your daughter's hiding over here off
That's right.
camera.
She's with me, Elizabeth. Yeah.
And she's in the movie, right?
She's in the movie. She actually is working behind the camera too. Set design, props, really big help. Production assistant.
So now let me have your movie. Ben.
Sure. Yeah.
We're
go for it.
gonna kind of do this, but it's called the Christmas Ranch.
That's right.
Tell us a little bit about what inspired the movie first,
Sure.
and then about making it.
Well, I will go into a little bit of history, but I'll save that for a little later. The
Okay.
quick answer is I've been able to make some films, some documentaries, and some television. Been very fortunate to do that in my career. And my family wanted me to make a family film, so I went for a search and found this incredible script written by Simon Parker over in the UK. And he had this wonderful horse girl movie that dealt with a girl that had to go away and live with her grandmother and find some inspiration in her life to kind of get out of some trouble she was in. Very similar thing happened to me in my life, so when I read the script I was like taken aback by it, and I said, this is the story that I'm going to do. And the kids got involved, my wife got involved, and we produced it and got it in distribution in 12 months.
Wow. That's moving along pretty quick. Of course, you know, people have to understand you've had a history and a background in doing film and video work and all that prior to this movie. So you've done a lot of work for a lot of other people in producing videos and putting it together. So part of that learning curve was already behind you. But there's still a big learning curve ahead of you when you go to a full-length feature film.
It's a big deal. Yeah, it's not small. Yeah, we went and I visited lots of different actors across the country, had auditions in the Mid-Atlantic area, all the way down to Atlanta. And Francine's from the hit show Nashville, and Tim Marlowe's been in Men in Black and Abduction with Taylor Lautner, and so has Alan Williamson. And this young lady, Taylor, amazing up-and-coming actress, Taylor Lyons. She's awesome. So really happy to have this incredible cast.
Now, when you take a story about, well, anytime you take a story with kids and horses, okay, you will eventually get a winner out of this. It just will be a winning combination. Tell us a little bit about your history with horses in your life.
Yeah, that's great. Well, I've loved horses since I was young. You know, as soon as you're 3 years old and the parents put you on the little ponies, you know, it's love at first sight and first ride, so it's like, yay. And I've been really fortunate when I lived in Pennsylvania, lived with a Mennonite family and really incredible farm, and they had quarter horses and Western saddle, and we had a blast riding those horses, and got to learn at a close by ranch in our Maryland home. And just you go there on the retreats and you get to ride horses that way, and other friends have had it. So we've never owned horses, but we've had friends who have horses, and we've enjoyed growing up around Maryland horse country.
Well, and when you said with a Mennonite family,
yes,
the next thing you've done is when you live with a Mennonite family or Amish or any of those various segments, they're based around horses.
Sure are.
Big time based around horses.
That's right.
And they're very good horse people. Now, they don't go for the fancy saddles and the fancy tack. Everything is plain and to the point.
That's right.
But when it comes to the horse is their
bread and
world.
butter.
It's their bread and butter. So they know how to train them, work them, and take care of them.
Yeah, yeah.
And you learned from, probably one of the best when you did that.
I sure did, yeah.
And the thing to me about horses is, especially with horses and kids, they are so identical in the fact that, you know, you raise a horse, you can raise a kid, you can train a horse, and vice versa, because all they need is consistency, honesty, and love. And
speaking of horses, this is Ferris, named after Ferris Bueller. Couldn't have been a better pony. We needed a pony, and our amazing set designer and actress, Stephanie Smith, brought Ferris up from Virginia to Maryland to stay for a good month at the Greenmount Farms, and
wow,
we couldn't have had a better horse. You can see this horse act in this movie. I mean, this this horse is as much of a player as these actors.
Now, what breed is Ferris?
It's a Welsh.
It's a Welsh pony.
Yeah,
okay.
we were really honored to have him. I fell in love with this horse. It's a pony, of course, but I fell in love with him, and you know, now his picture is all over the place, and of course, all over this DVD.
But the section, the larger, there are 2 or 3 sections in Welsh, and the larger ones are almost horse-sized.
Yeah,
you know?
this is one hand under a horse.
Right, right. This is really a neat. Matter of fact, I saw some of this, well, when we were in Manhattan. We were together there.
Great.
But this is really a neat movie, and you are out of Baltimore.
I'm out of Baltimore, Maryland. We started DBM Films when we started our marketing agency, DBM Communications, 27 years ago. 15 years ago, we really put out the banner of DBM Films and started making feature films. So dbmfilmstore.com is where you can find this movie, plus The Bill Collector, City of David. We're working on our next feature called Mystic Dreams and Dusty Road. So we're really working on family, inspirational, dramatic, comedy type films that deal with family subjects like horses, and great storyline. You'll enjoy it. So you know, get it for the weekend, get it for a night.
You're way ahead of me because you're getting your plugs in there, and I wanted you to.
I'm glad.
That's fine. What I love about the whole concept is we don't do enough for the families today. We just don't do enough for families. And when you grow up basically rural, horses, whatever, there's a lot more family involvement. And when you come out of there, you're a better adult. And I really believe that.
If we can make more of these kinds of films, Wayne, it's going to be better for the culture, I believe. And so that's why we're putting a lot of energy, a lot of financial investment into these kinds of projects. And so the more that you all get involved with, you know, supporting the arts and these kinds of films, the better we are at making more of these. So.
Right. Well, Doug, it's been a pleasure.
Thanks.
Again, it is called Christmas Ranch, the one we're talking about here.
Right.
But you've got several others, and you've got more in production. Your website one more time?
Okay, dbmfilmstore.com. D as in dog, B as in boy, M as in man, film store, all one word, .com. And you can see our films all on many platforms, VOD, but get ready for Mystic Dreams and Dusty Roads. That's going to be another exciting 1930s Dust Bowl with the rodeo horses.
That'll be great.
Yeah.
And you'll probably be able to see that at one of the Equus Film Festivals coming up. So thanks for joining us, Doug.
Appreciate the time.
Oh, yes. Thanks. Speaking of horses, we're here at the Equus Film Festival, Camden, South Carolina. Tour stop. Thanks.